What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my picks for MLB
Saturday, September 26th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, let's take a look at this 11-game main slate. At the pitcher position, I like Michael Pineda with a 13% pitching advantage over a low-salary batting team, the Cincinnati Reds. Michael Pineda is only giving up a .445 OPS versus lefties, and he's facing 5 lefties here tonight. On top of that, the Reds have only hit 10 of his last 45 pitches. That's a .222 batting average, and he's only $7,800 FanDuel salary and $600 more on DraftKings. He has an ERA of 3.18. His record is 2-0 on the season, pitching an average of 94 pitches per game and averaging 32 fantasy points per game. He scored 21, 29, and 49 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Michael Pineda here versus the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Jose Abreu with a 23% batting advantage over John Lester. Jose Abreu bats 6% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .950 OPS versus lefties. And John Lester, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 17% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .849 OPS versus righties. And Jose Abreu is 9 for 23, batting a .391 batting average and a 1.113 OPS versus Lester. 2 of those 9 hits were for home runs. He's $4,000 FanDuel salary and $1,300 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 14 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 6, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 11.4 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Jose Abreu here versus John Lester. Okay, who do we have at the second base position? I like Jake Cronenworth with an 85% batting advantage over Johnny Cueto. Jake Cronenworth is batting 39% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .987 OPS versus righties. And Johnny Cueto, he doesn't pitch very well versus lefties. 46% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a 1.026 OPS versus lefties. Jake is 1 for 3. That's a .333 batting average and a 1.267 OPS versus Cueto. He's $2,900 FanDuel salary and $1,900 more on DraftKings. So I like that FanDuel price. He's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 6, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He's projected at 9.5 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Jake Cronenworth here versus Johnny Cueto. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Maikel Franco with a 49% batting advantage over Matthew Boyd. Maikel Franco bats 14% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .838 OPS versus lefties. And Matthew Boyd, he's pitching 36% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .936 OPS versus righties. So he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters. And Maikel Franco is 3 for 6, batting .500 and a 1.5 OPS versus Boyd. He's $3,000 FanDuel salary and $1,200 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 7, 25, and 13 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Maikel Franco here versus Matthew Boyd.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Francisco Lindor with a 29% batting advantage over a low-salary pitcher, Joe Musgrove. Francisco Lindor is batting 9% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .836 OPS versus righties. And Joe Musgrove pitches his worst ball versus switch hitters, 20% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .930 OPS versus switch hitters. Francisco Lindor is 3 for 7, batting a .429 batting average and a 1 OPS versus Musgrove. He's $3,600 FanDuel salary and $1,400 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 18, 3, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.3 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Francisco Lindor here versus Joe Musgrove. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Michael Brantley with a 34% batting advantage over a low-salary pitcher, Kyle Gibson. Michael Brantley is batting 26% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .924 OPS versus righties. And Kyle Gibson throws his worst ball versus lefty batters, 8% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a .864 OPS versus lefties. Michael Brantley is 9 for 30. He's batting 300 with a .833 OPS versus Gibson. He's $3,100 FanDuel salary and $900 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 9, and 0 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Michael Brantley here versus Kyle Gibson.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.